Have you ever noticed how the people who seem the happiest are often the ones who care the least about things that don't truly matter? They don't waste energy stressing over what others think, chasing approval, or getting caught up in meaningless drama. They move through life with a quiet confidence, unbothered by noise and negativity. And yet, those who care too much about opinions, failures, and things beyond their control often find themselves stressed, anxious, and unsatisfied. The secret? The less you care about what doesn't serve you, the more at peace you'll be. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how to master this mindset and free yourself from unnecessary worries. And before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to support our journey. Your support helps us keep making these valuable insights available to you. Now let's dive in. Number 1, the burden of external validation. One of the biggest reasons people feel unhappy is because they care too much about what others think. We've been conditioned to seek approval, whether from parents, friends, or society at large. We want to be liked, respected, and admired. But when you live for others' approval, you give away your power. Your happiness becomes dependent on something you cannot control: how people perceive you. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. He ruled one of the greatest empires in history, yet he constantly reminded himself that people's opinions were fleeting. In Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Instead of worrying about how others saw him, he focused on his actions and character. Think about it. Have you ever held back from doing something you wanted because you feared judgment? Maybe you hesitated to start a business, express an opinion, or were something different. But here's the truth. People are too busy thinking about themselves to truly care about you. And even if they judge, their opinions won't change your reality. The less you seek validation, the freer you become. Instead of living for approval, ask yourself, am I living according to my own values? When you stop caring about impressing others and start focusing on being your authentic self, life becomes lighter. You experience true confidence, not the kind built on external praise, but the kind rooted in self-acceptance. Number 2, letting go of the need to control everything. We suffer when we try to control things that are beyond our reach. Yet, most people spend their lives obsessing over situations they have no power over, whether it's other people's actions, unexpected challenges, or the outcome of their efforts. The more you resist uncertainty, the more frustration you create for yourself. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that happiness comes from focusing only on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else is just noise. He said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Imagine you apply for a job, but you don't get it. If you're overly attached to the outcome, you'll feel like a failure. But if you accept that rejection is part of life and move forward, you'll stay at peace. The same goes for relationships, business, and any other area of life. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. When you let go of the illusion of control, you experience less stress. Instead of wasting energy fighting reality, you flow with it. This doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you focus on what truly matters: your effort, your mindset, and your resilience. Number 3, the power of detachment from drama. Drama thrives on attention. The more you engage with negativity, whether it's gossip, online arguments, or toxic relationships, the more it consumes you. Many people live in constant emotional turmoil because they invest too much energy into conflicts that don't deserve their time. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, believed that true peace comes from emotional discipline. He warned against getting entangled in trivial matters, saying, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the time, our worries and grudges exist only in our minds, yet we let them steal our happiness. Think about the last time someone insulted you or spread rumors about you. If you reacted emotionally, you gave them power over your mood. But if you simply shrugged it off, their words lost all weight. This is the power of detachment. When you stop feeding drama, it dies on its own. Instead of wasting time on negativity, focus on what brings you joy. Invest your energy into personal growth, meaningful relationships, and your goals. The less you engage with pointless drama, the lighter and happier your life becomes. Number 4, minimalism in thoughts, possessions, and attachments. Caring less isn't just about ignoring negativity. It's also about simplifying your life. Many people are burdened by unnecessary stress because they hold on to too many things, whether it's material possessions, overcomplicated thoughts, or toxic relationships. The more you declutter your life, the more mental space you create for peace. Stoics practiced a form of minimalism. They understood that true wealth isn't in having more, but in needing less. Diogenes, one of the most extreme Stoics, gave up all material possessions except for a cup until he saw a child drinking water with his hands. He then threw away the cup, realizing he didn't even need that. While most of us don't need to go to such extremes, the lesson remains. The less you depend on external things for happiness, the more unshakable your peace becomes. Consider your own life. Do you stress over things you don't really need? Maybe it's an expensive car, designer clothes, or a perfect Instagram image. The more you chase these things, the more trapped you become in an endless cycle of wanting more. But when you detach from excess and focus on what truly matters, health, relationships, and personal growth, you unlock a deeper level of happiness. Number 5, finding true happiness in simplicity. Happiness isn't found in chasing more. It's found in caring less about what doesn't matter. When you let go of the need for approval, control, drama, and excess, life becomes peaceful. You start appreciating simple moments, a quiet morning, a deep conversation, a sunset. These are the things that truly nourish the soul. Look at the happiest people around you. They aren't the ones who stress over social status, material possessions, or endless competition. They're the ones who live simply, staying true to themselves. They prioritize peace over pressure, fulfillment over fame. And this is something you can choose today. Start by identifying what truly adds value to your life and what only drains you. Cut out the noise. Simplify your thoughts. Prioritize peace over perfection. When you do this, you'll realize that happiness isn't something you find. It's something you create by letting go of what doesn't serve you. Number 6, stop taking things personally. One of the quickest ways to find peace is to stop taking things personally. Too often, we let other people's words, actions, and moods affect us as if they are a direct reflection of our worth. But the truth is, what people say and do is more about them than it is about you. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminded himself, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." This mindset frees you from unnecessary suffering. If someone criticizes you, consider if there's any truth to it. If there is, use it to improve. If not, discard it. Either way, don't let it affect your peace. Imagine you're having a great day, but then someone cuts you off in traffic or a coworker makes a rude comment. You have two choices. You can get upset, replaying the situation in your head, or you can remind yourself that their behavior is about them, not you. By choosing the latter, you remain in control of your emotions. The less personally you take things, the less power others have over you. You realize that most people act based on their own struggles, fears, and frustrations. When you detach from their reactions, you stay unshaken. So the next time someone says or does something negative, pause. Ask yourself, is this really about me? Or is it just their own internal battle spilling out? More often than not, it's the latter. And when you learn to let go, life becomes much more peaceful. Number 7, the freedom of expecting less. Much of our disappointment in life comes from expecting too much, expecting people to treat us a certain way, expecting life to be fair, expecting things to go exactly as planned. But the more rigid your expectations, the more you set yourself up for frustration. Epictetus once said, when someone is properly grounded in life, they should not have to look outside themselves for approval. This applies to expectations as well. The more you depend on external things, whether it's people, outcomes, or circumstances, the more vulnerable you become to disappointment. Think about a time when you expected a friend to support you, but they didn't. Or when you expected a situation to turn out a certain way, but it didn't. How did you feel? Probably upset. But if you had no expectations, you wouldn't have been affected as much. This doesn't mean you should stop setting goals or valuing relationships. It means you should detach from the need for things to go exactly as you want. The more flexible your mindset, the more resilient you become. When you expect less, you appreciate more. Start practicing this today. Instead of expecting others to always understand you, accept that misunderstandings happen. Instead of expecting life to be smooth, embrace challenges as part of growth. The less you expect, the lighter your heart becomes. Number 8, stop wasting energy on the past. Many people live in the past, replaying mistakes, regrets, and missed opportunities in their minds. They hold on to guilt, anger, and sadness over things they cannot change. But the more you dwell on the past, the more you rob yourself of the present. Seneca wisely said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." One of the biggest wastes of time is obsessing over things you can't undo. You can learn from the past, but you cannot live there. Think about something that has weighed on your mind for too long. Maybe it was a failed relationship, a bad decision, or an opportunity you let slip. Ask yourself, is thinking about this changing anything? If the answer is no, it's time to let go. Forgiveness is a key part of this process. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has moments they wish they could change. But the only thing you can control is what you do moving forward. The less you care about the past, the more energy you have for the present. And when you fully embrace the now, you create a future that is free from unnecessary burdens. Number 9, reducing the fear of missing out. FOMO. In today's world, people constantly feel like they're missing out. Social media shows others traveling, succeeding, and living seemingly perfect lives. This creates an illusion that you're falling behind. But the truth is, the more you chase everything, the less satisfied you become. The Stoics understood this long before social media existed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." Instead of constantly looking at what others are doing, focus on what fulfills you. Think about the last time you felt FOMO. Maybe you saw a friend buy a new car, move to a different country, or achieve a goal you haven't yet reached. That feeling of inadequacy doesn't come from reality. It comes from comparison. But remember, social media is a highlight reel, not real life. The antidote to FOMO is gratitude. Instead of looking at what you don't have, appreciate what you do. The less you care about keeping up with others, the more peace you find in your own journey. Practice this today. The next time you feel FOMO creeping in, pause and list 3 things you're grateful for. When you focus on your own path, life becomes more fulfilling. Number 10, happiness is in the mind, not in the external world. In the end, true happiness isn't found in material things, external achievements, or other people's approval. It's found in your mindset. The less you depend on external factors for happiness, the more control you have over your well-being. Epictetus taught, people are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. This means that it's not events themselves that make us happy or unhappy, but how we interpret them. A person who loses a job can see it as a disaster or an opportunity. Someone who faces rejection can view it as failure or as redirection. It's all about perception. Look at your own life. What are you relying on for happiness? A job? A relationship? a future goal? While these things can bring joy, this should not be your only source of fulfillment, because the moment they disappear, your happiness disappears with them. Instead, train your mind to find happiness in simple things: learning, personal growth, quiet moments of reflection. The less you tie your joy to external things, the more unshakable your peace becomes. And if you've made it this far, I want you to remember one thing: happiness is a choice. You don't need to chase it. You simply need to let go of everything that blocks it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing these insights to you. And remember, the less you care, the happier you'll be. See you in the next one.